Welcome to Stuff. You might be wondering, why am I using a Game Shark? Well, the reason is because all Nintendo 64 games have this weird blur on them. In modern PC terms, it's called FXAA. Sometimes it looks good if you're playing a game at like 1080p or 4K, but at a resolution of 256 by 224, I'm good. In case you're wondering, wait, can you look? How do you look at the code? I don't know how to actually, but like, you can Google it. It's like, I'm not using any actual cheats, just this one, because this just disables the blur, and it kind of gives the game an interesting look. I'm not sure if it looks better with it on or off, but it looks nice. So we're gonna play it like that. And yeah, this is on real hardware, recorded on a VHS. This is not being recorded in the past, by the way. I am recording this on the 5th of February 2020. And I'm doing this because basically VHS space is cheaper than hard drive space, and on top of that, VHS tapes can record surprisingly good audio. Assuming that this didn't turn out like crap, you are hearing the hi-fi track of an old movie, literally a copy of Lethal Weapon 3 on VHS, and we're just taping over that with Mario 64, and I'm playing this at SLP speed because with SLP speed, you can record 6 hours of video on one tape that you can get at Goodwill for like 25 cents. That's pretty good mileage right there. So we're just going to go ahead and start the game up. And look at that, you can see right on the logo, that blurriness is taken right off. And look at that, you can see right on the like, look at that, this you can't really see it on the tape, but this game uses a lot of dithering that you would not otherwise see. It almost kind of looks like a PS1 game with the, like, look at that, this start screen right here, that was some dithering if I ever saw it. But it probably won't show up on the tape because the tape can't really but like, yeah, you can see it, like when Peach fades out there were a bunch of polygons that didn't quite fit together, and with the FXAA turned on, you wouldn't really have been able to see it. It gives the game an interesting look. I think it looks better this way. I'm actually watching this game on a small Trinitron display, and it looks very sharp. It's like a 13-inch display, and I'm sitting kind of far away from it, so it looks very sharp. But I'm not exactly sure how much of this is going to translate to the tape. I also think recording on actual VHS tape is interesting because, like, if you want to go for that look, most YouTubers would just do, like, Adobe Premiere, like, using some, like, preset or some bullshit like that. And I decided, no, why use the preset when you have the real thing? That's my cat. He's gonna be our co-commentator on this little journey. So I know most of this game by heart. I'm not sure if I'm gonna go and do all 120 stars, but I'm probably gonna do that because I have no self-control. I'm also recording this at 1 a.m. like a weirdo, but yeah, we're just gonna go with it. I'm not exactly sure, but I kind of get the feeling that disabling the anti-aliasing helps the colors pop more on the CRT. I'm not really sure. I think it might just help in general, because, like, it probably... I'm not really sure. It probably does fuck with the colors a little bit to just blur everything. So... yeah, you're seeing like kind of like a more true representation of the game's assets. Okay, we're gonna stay focused. The idea is that I'm just gonna do every single star of every single world in order until I either get bored at 70 stars, or or I run out of tape, or I decide to actually keep going and we do all 120. I don't really know any speedrunning techniques, so we're just going to do this as legitimately as possible. And I'm not really sure if I'm going to do this all in one session or if I'm going to split it up. But I decided we're just going to get the ball rolling. You know, I'm not the one to like meticulously plan and do a pre-playthrough. I haven't really played this game in years, but I have played it many times, and I kind of know the entire game by heart, so... It won't be too bad. I'm sure as I get to everything, I'll kind of remember each mission as I go. Like this right here, this is basically muscle memory at this point. Everyone knows how to do this. Well, everyone who played the game. And if you didn't play this game, then you're an inferior human being for not playing some old game from the 90s that modern games have outshined everywhere. Yeah, that's right. I said it. This game isn't even as good as Mario Sunshine. Like, for real, it's not. Like, I'm not, like, not even joking about that. It's really, because, okay, so think about it. You control the camera like this. The game just has really weird pacing. The game has a weird aesthetic. I guess a lot of people wouldn't count graphics as... It's not the graphics, it's the aesthetic. It just doesn't... It doesn't look like it doesn't look like any other Mario game. Like, even Mario Sunshine is still, like, pretty recognizable as a Mario game. But this game is just, like... There's just a bunch of weird shit in it that has not been seen before or since. Like, just look at Mario's model itself. Does this look like Mario to you? Like, even compared to the models that... Like, there's a reason why they use different models in the Mario Party games. This one just looks weird. There's something off about it that I can't quite describe. Alright, Koopa the Quick. Everyone knows a shortcut for this one. Well, if I have to stay silent for a long enough amount of time, I'm just gonna, like, start talking about politics, because that's all I know. Anyway, you go here, and you do this, and that's okay, because, honestly, Koopa the Quick cheats, too. If everyone cheats, cheating simply becomes part of the game. And he's here. No, he's not. Yeah, I forgot. It takes him kind of a while. What is that weird shading? Why does that look dark over there? What is that? This game has... And old 3D is, like, so weird. think this game's bad. I guess I'll talk more. Okay, so why is this game better than Mario Sunshine? Well, it's also like just the movement physics. This game is very stilted. It's stiff. And it's not really the game's fault. It was just like the first 3D game ever. They had nothing to compare it to, and they kind of had to just invent almost all of this out of thin air. Like, even the fact that we call it a camera, that's something that specifically comes from this game. Actually, I'm not sure. That kind of sounds like a myth. I'm sure that there were many 3D programs that were calling it a camera before this. Probably not a game, but, you know, like, early 3D software was probably already calling it a camera at this point. But it sounds vaguely true, and I saw it on Reddit somewhere, so therefore it's pretty much irrefutable fact. What is this one? Oh, yep. You gotta do this. I always hated this canon bullshit because, like, it's just really difficult to tell where you're gonna go. I think I can make it from here. But you have to, like, angle it perfectly. That reticle is useless. It's lying to you. Horizontally, yeah, it works. Vertically, it's pretty much just... Okay, we can make this. Okay. Not even close. That's okay, there's this one. And this one's really easy. Yeah, I always thought that these cannons were kind of bullshit. I'm glad that they changed it in Mario Galaxy. Okay, I think you're supposed to, like, angle this straight up, and you'll just dive down onto the island. Yep, I remember that. Okay, nice. And it's just this. And we're good.
Here we go!
And now more worlds have opened up to us, but we're just doing everything in order, just because. Alright, 8 coins. The fetch quest missions. I'm kind of glad that they never did these again, honestly. I thought that the one, and this is another point where Mario Sunshine is way better, because the red coin missions are like, okay, maybe not the one on Gelato Beach. All the other ones are pretty good though. I always thought Mario 64, the only thing that Mario 64 really does better is the fact that you can access the red coins from any mission. Other than that, I totally prefer Mario Sunshine. Like, Mario Sunshine just has a better engine. It has... I don't know. It's like... It's just better in every single way. But, yeah, I consider this game mostly an experiment. A very, very successful one, but it is what it is. And here, there's one, yeah. There's 6. And then there's everyone's favorite little YouTuber trick, where you just keep jumping. And you can just... Here, let me see, there's a way. It's like you have to kind of get some momentum going. I forgot how you're supposed to... Oh yeah, you keep lawn jumping. Something like... There's a way to do this. I've done this shit before. Nope. Nope. Yeah, I think you can literally just keep walking and you'll make it. But you have to be careful. You kind of, like, one of these polygons is steep and one of them is shallow, and you kind of got to stay on the shallow one. Where was the 8th one? See, what's interesting about the red coins in this game is that you can, like, see them from any distance. I think I got them all. In that area, at least. Do not believe there's... Man, I can't be slouching. Oh yeah, there. Yeah, I forgot. Of course, I wouldn't immediately get that one because they like hide it away with that bullshit. All right. Whoa. But see, that's another example. Like shit like that just doesn't really happen that often in Mario Sunshine. And like I said, I can't hold that against the game too hard, because this was like the first 3D game ever that got successful. But I'm also like, you can't really say that Sunshine didn't do that way better, and in a 3D platformer, the camera's kind of everything. I mean, if you have a bad camera, you pretty much have a bad game. Which is like, and like I'm not the only one to ever say that about Mario 64. But yeah, Sunshine is better, the worlds are better. I guess one of the things people like about this game is the fact that like all of the locales are really weird and different and kind of out there. And in terms of like variety, it definitely has something that Mario Sunshine doesn't. I also think that the power-ups in this game are way cooler. But then again, Mario Sunshine, the whole point is that you have Flood. Oh, you need the wing cap for this one. Alright, well, I think you can do the last couple missions without that. Because this is just... Yeah, that's another funny little thing. If you're in the mid-air ground pound animation, you pretty much don't have a hitbox. It's kind of weird. There's also a way to get behind there using like a bob-omb and clipping through. There's like some tricks in this game that I've tried to practice, but I've never really gotten around to formally learning this game. I think I will, though. You know what? I'm actually gonna grind other stages until I think you need 12 stars for this to open up. Yeah, let's go right into Jolly Roger Bay. Let's do it kind of out of order, you know? And you know what? While we're at it, let's just go... Is it this one that takes you to... Yep, there we go. Let's just go right for this one. Yeah, another weird aspect of this game that they kind of corrected with the later ones is the fact that your health is the same as your oxygen, and instead of having like a separate like air meter like almost any other game, it just kind of slowly drains your health. So it's kind of weird because the way that the game's programmed is that just going to the surface of any body of water instantly refills all of your health. I don't know, I just thought that was kind of weird. It's probably just because they were trying to like save on memory or something, you know. It's like, why dedicate extra bytes to holding like another like value for air when you can just I don't know. I don't really know. That's my cat again. Honestly, he's probably better at having stuff to say than I am. Hey, buddy. His name is Cave. I named him after Cave Johnson from Portal 2. Because that's what you're required to do, right? If you have a cat, you have to name it after a video game character. You can't not do that. Now he's like jumping all over my little makeshift recording setup here. He's the executive producer. Okay, what's this? Plunder Sunken Ship. I remember this one. Uh-oh, he's on top of the VCR. Hopefully that doesn't cause any trouble. But this is how we keep it interesting, you know? Okay, yeah, I remember this. So first, you gotta just go up to the sky. You gotta draw him out. Hi. Get out. Get out of town. Doesn't he? Oh, okay, yeah, I'm gonna... Oh, okay, let's go for those coins, and then I died. Well, I was kind of playing it fast and loose there. I forgot what you were even supposed to do to draw him out. Is it like, it might just be on a timer or something. I think you just go down there. Yeah, I don't, and that's another weird thing is that like, so a lot of the missions in this game are just kind of like weird and obtuse, and Mario Sunshine is much less so in that regard. You know, at the beginning of every Mario Sunshine level, you're directed to do a specific thing. You can't do any of the missions out of order, which, you know, is a little bit of a flaw, but it's also kind of a strength because you just don't get any weird stuff. And in we go. And see, that's another thing, is that just like on a technical level, this game is, to put it lightly, not as well put together as Mario Sunshine. Gets this one first, right? Yes. Imagine if I completely remember this one. I think I do. Yeah, I think this one's really easy. Okay, what I don't get is that there's only 2 instances of you having to do this in the entire game, and they're both right here in this one world. Okay, now as fast as you can, you just gotta get right over there. Come on, come on, come on. Olympic swimmer Mario. Oh, that's how you do it. That's speedrun strats right there. That's pro strats. That's MLG. Damn, son, where'd you find this? But anyway, we have plundered the sunken ship. Let's keep going. Oh, great, another mission where you have to... This one I hated. This is the one where you have to, like, swim up to the tail. Yeah, fuck this one. Fuck Mario 64, and fuck all the Sunshine haters. Alright. So... I always thought that this eel looked like really weird and out of place in a Mario game, and this game is just full of stuff like that. Like Mario Sunshine has no shortage of weird shit, but like at least I mean like this eel just looks scary. Like the eels in Mario Galaxy also kind of look a little weird, but like they look weird in a Mario way. This is just like this eel would not look out of place in like Quake, you know? It's just early 3D, you know? They didn't have all the aesthetics down. They didn't really 100% know what they were doing, and that's almost kind of the charm of it. That's really why I'm playing this game, is just because it's like... This game is pretty much a museum of, like, the transition from 2D to 3D. And I support trans rights. I hope Mario's transition goes well. Yeah, let's just keep the variety going. I thought I was gonna just do every level all at once, but that would be kind of boring. I don't even think I'm gonna do all 120 stars. I think I'm just kind of playing this game by ear, which is an ironic statement considering that I actually have my speakers turned off to prevent, microphone feedback. Because I have the gain turned up on this microphone so hard that it would hurt your ears. So this is Slip Sliding Away. So this one's pretty simple. And we can show off some more pro MLG gamer strats. Okay, no we can't. Well, so much for that.
Mamma mia!
Alright, let's go. Let's try it again. Pro, MLG, Gamer, Evil Geniuses, Cloud9, Fortnite. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. That's how the pros do it. That's Siglemic right there. I'm the future Siglemic. You're seeing him right now. I actually would love to learn how to speedrun this game, and that's probably like up. What the fuck? I never noticed this arrow. What's it pointing at? Wait, hold on. Can I get up there? What the fuck is up? Dog. Nothing much, said the inanimate Nintendo 64 in front of me. Oh, is this like a 1-up? Nice. That's kind of what I like about games like this, is that, like, it's nice when you come back to a game that you've played a million times and you still find new shit. That's how you know a game is actually good. And yeah, I do think that this game is good. I just don't think that it's as good as any 3D Mario game that came after it. And I don't really hold that against this game, just because it was the first. It kind of had to be that way. Okay, this is another one of the stupid missions, as I'm gonna start calling them. So this one, there's two penguins. Both of them have the exact same model. There's only one that you can actually bring back to the mother. It's this one right here. So intuitively, most players would just go down to the bottom already, and they would pick up the penguin that's down there, and then the mother gets mad and says, no, you got the wrong one, even though there's literally no indication, no conveyance. That's a game design word. That's a TM developer term. But yeah, this game has shit conveyance. And say what you will about Mario Sunshine. I mean, it's almost like painstakingly telegraphed in some cases, but Mario Sunshine definitely has better conveyance than this game. I'm not really sure how many parts I'm gonna split this into, but I'm gonna, I'm just, I don't want to start something that I'm not gonna finish, so I'm gonna try to do as much of this in one sitting as possible. I'm just glad that I think I don't know. It's I remember when YouTube had a 10-minute time limit, and those were not the days. That kind of sucked.
Here we go!
That's one thing, say what you will about the YouTube algorithm, I'm actually kind of glad that they prioritize, really long videos. Hopefully you didn't hear that. Sorry, I had to adjust the microphone. But we're gonna keep it somewhat in line with old YouTube, because that's what I'm trying to invoke here, is the spirit of 2007 tube, when you wouldn't edit out any burps, any microphone ruffles. I'm probably not breathing hard enough into the mic though. Okay, Big Penguin Race. This is the fun one, because it's just a repeat of another. That's another thing about Mario 64. A lot of the missions are just kind of thinly veiled repeats. I guess Mario Sunshine probably has some stuff like that too, but just not as blatant. Oh, wait a minute. No, I thought I was taking a shortcut, but the shortcut took me.
Mamma mia!
So anyway, let's talk about politics. The DNC literally rigged Iowa. Yeah, I said it. I'm putting on my tinfoil hat. Call me a conspiracy theorist, but you kinda can't say that they didn't. The best that you can say is that they were just really stupid and didn't know how to use an app, in which case, okay, why are these people basically... Bruh. Why are these people in charge of democracy? And by the way, if you don't want me getting political, too bad. Everything's political. Mario 64 is This game is a political statement. Okay, I don't take it that far, but I do think that a lot of things are political, and... I mean, it's the internet is just so full of spaces where people say, oh, I don't want to hear about politics, and it's well, have fun having, I don't know, it's just, there's just something, immature about it, right? Oh yeah, I don't want to participate in how the world works, or have a say in it, or even talk. I mean, even if you think that your vote doesn't matter, even if you think that, activism doesn't do anything, protesting doesn't do anything, you live in a country where you can say whatever you want about everyone who has power over you, including the billionaires, and you can say it without any fear of punishment. And you're really gonna just use that to say, well, I don't want to hear about politics. It's just like, it's just wasteful, you know? It's just fucking wasteful. I don't know. And I am quite biased. Like don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to say that like I have all the answers. I just think that I believe pretty strongly in the collection of answers that I have formed my beliefs. Okay, so I'm just kind of showing off how shit I am. I'm not gonna game over. I'm just gonna do it the TM, developer intended way. But at least if I talk about politics, I'll actually have something to talk about. And my awful personality can come out a little bit more. Yeah, anyway, I'm literally an anarchist. Like not a, you know, not a, like a leftist. Like Noam Chomsky kind of anarchist, but like without the intelligence or, you know, college education or anything like that. You know, a poster. I kind of love how the word oh, whoa, this is already unlocked? Okay. I kind of love how the word poser and the word poster kind of mean the same thing, but like for different times. A poser is just a poster, but like in the 90s or something like that. You know, it's also a catch-all term for anyone you don't like. You know, you don't like someone? Well, they're a poser. You know, now in 2020, you don't like someone? Well, they're a poster. History doesn't rhyme, but it has a lot of alliteration. Holy shit, did I... Oh, god damn it! No! Okay, I always hated this one. This is bullshit. This is a meme. Whoa. Did you see that? That's what you call MLG gamer strats right there. I couldn't be more of a gamer if I was unapologetically racist. What? You're a gamer too? I'm not sure if you could... Hello? That was my little gamer. Are you committing war crimes? Are you committing war crimes? Okay, let's not have a little cat wrestling session right now.
Here we go!
Yep, I've already decided I'm not... Like, if I am doing 120 stars, it's going to be in a different session. But, I mean, we're already at 10 stars. I already have, like, 1/7 of the amount of stars needed to finish the game. And I got plenty of tape. Probably haven't even used up my first hour yet, so... You know what? We're just going to power through it. I think I could already take on Bowser, but we're gonna... Why did I do that? Am I... No, I'm not gonna use... You know something I don't like? I'm gonna sound like a fucking, like, 3rd grade teacher right now. But... I don't like... I don't mind swearing. I think swearing is okay. I think it conveys points better than so-called clean language, but there are definitely words that I think is just like, just don't use this word, you know, like the word retard, you know, it's just, I'll put it this way. There are swear words, and then there are just kind of bad words, and I would say retard kind of is the latter. Or I guess there's even better terminology. It's not a bad word, it's a gamer word. To use these words is the sign of a true gamer, a free speech warrior. So it says chip off Womp's block, but that's a bunch of bullshit, and we're actually just gonna do this star because I'm already here. And we're gonna do a cool little trick called, if I can get... Okay, and this is another thing that Mario Sunshine does better, is the fact that you don't... Like, you have... The loud jumping in this game is so weird. It does not work like any other game. You literally have to hit A as soon as you touch the wall. If not, you fly off like that. Like, if you just hit a wall, you don't slide down it. Like any other 3D Mario game, any other 3D game, even Sonic fucking Unleashed does that better. But yeah, Mario 64, you have to, like, painstakingly time it. Otherwise, you don't get it. I think another reason why this game feels stiff is probably just the Nintendo 64 controller. I remember on the Wii Virtual Console, it played way better, because you could use a GameCube controller. Unfortunately, Nintendo doesn't do Virtual Console anymore. They just do Netflix with NES games. But, okay, so how fucking weird is it? How fucking weird is it that Nintendo can really be out here charging... yeah, I guess it's cheaper than Netflix, but it's even cheaper than Xbox Live, but, like, why are they out here charging $20 a year for, like, basically a really shitty ROM collection, you know? I don't know. And that's another thing, when you become kind of versed in politics, the people that make a big deal out of media piracy, it's like it's just kind of like really, like that's your issue, you know? I mean, you know, not like at least if we disagree on a solution, like, other political people will agree that, like, yeah, like, the housing crisis, that's pretty important. You know, the fact that wages are stagnant, that's pretty important, you know? Even if you disagree on the solution, like, at least we have common ground that these are the actually important things. And then there's the fucking, like, media executives that are like, well, we believe piracy is wrong. It's like... If that's the extent of your political advocacy, then, like, yeah, I mean, yeah, you know, like, it's just, like, think, or how about the military-industrial complex, the fact that, we spend $700 billion a year on a military that we don't even really need, like, 1/10 of. That we could wipe the floor with, like, every other country 7 times over and we always seem to need more. There always seems to be another enemy that's worth literally throwing away American lives and dollars for. And there are actually people out there that are like, hey, you know what's wrong in the world? The fact that people download emulators. It's like, come on. Come the fuck on. Get real. You know? Like... Oh yeah, here's another fun side effect of Mario having no hitbox for 5 seconds. Everyone knows this though. I guess that's... I don't know, it's like... Every game has already had like 70 different Let's Plays done of it already that like... I don't know. Everything's already been done, but then again, there's probably like a whole generation of people that like probably don't even know what a Let's Play is at this point, which is weird to think that like at one point that was the big thing on YouTube, was, you know, people just playing video games. I mean, that's how PewDiePie got popular. He doesn't do it anymore. Well, I mean, he kind of does, but like it's really just kind of like a compliment to his sort of... I don't really know what I would call PewDiePie. It's kind of like social commentary. Almost. He probably doesn't think of it that way, but that's how I've kind of seen it in recent years. I'm not like a PewDiePie stan, but, you know, I think people do get a little extreme with the whole, like, oh, he's a Nazi, he's part of the alt-right pipeline thing. And I say this as someone who literally believes that like, we need to achieve socialism. I believe, because it's like, I don't know. I mean, I guess it is kind of a tired opinion. Like, yeah, everyone has already said a million times cancel culture is stupid, but, like, it's... I think a lot of the things that many leftists see as flaws in other people are really just, like... Yeah, it's not... Like, there was a time when my beliefs were pretty closely aligned with, like, Joe Rogan and PewDiePie, right? Like I was never politically extreme before I was a leftist. I was just kind of, like, casually following world events. And I think that there really needs to be a deeper distinction drawn between people that hold sincere and damaging and kind of stupid political beliefs and people that just haven't really looked into it yet, or, you know, or even, and again, you know, I mean, it's like, I don't think that you should ignore politics, but I think people kind of have a right to, and in a more well-adjusted society, you would be able to do so without causing as much harm. You know, like, not every single person really has to be politically engaged. And I think shaming people that aren't there yet is what prevents people from getting there. You know what I mean? You know, whether they become just kind of liberal-ish or, you know, just full-blown lefty, it's like, or even, you know, depending on the context, conservative. I think that there's I don't think that the conservative worldview is particularly well supported by, like, evidence or data or history, but I mean, you're never really... Even when people say things like, okay, we need to stop cancel culture, they don't really stop their internal thinking processes. They don't really stop what actually, like, led them to believe in it in the first place. Because, like, cancel culture is not a concentrated effort, right? Like there's no conspiracy. It's just people sincerely believe that, like, you should be canceled for thinking certain things in large numbers. And in fact, many of the people who feel that way now probably have always felt that way for their entire lives, but they've never had a platform to express that before. And I think that's a lot of what we're seeing, with the current political scene is just... It's not so much that the Overton window is expanding, it's just that it's falling more in line with what people have always believed, right? Like, the political center is almost kind of a myth. There's no such thing as a centrist, right? It's just like... It's just a carefully spun narrative. And... what's interesting about the current political scene is that now... Is this red coins? Yeah, those are red coins. I have 3. Okay. Is that now there is no narrative. There can't be. It's failing. Nobody believes in CNN or Fox News anymore. Like, even conservatives don't really take Fox News seriously. It's just... And that's a good thing. That is quite a good... Like, I'm not going to sit out here and defend... I think it's good to defend the concept of journalism, but you don't need to defend every journalist, right? Like I think we can all agree that, like, multi-billion-dollar corporations probably should not be engaged in journalism, right? Like journalism should be a bottom-up kind of thing. It should not be like I guess what I'm trying to say is corporate journalism sucks, and it has always sucked. People have always felt that way. But the problem is, before you would only have television and radio, You didn't have an interactive medium. You didn't have any feedback. The most you could do is shout at the screen and maybe call in to your preferred, AM station. But you didn't really have a voice at all. And you almost still don't. But you're closer to having one than any other point in history. Because I mean, I think the next generation of this, like, thought process is gonna, because like now culture has killed corporate journalism, and I think the next thing on the cultural hit list is probably corporate social media. I don't think social media is bad. I think it's actually a very good thing. It's just that, again, when you have that top-down authority, when you have the ability to just ban people for having certain opinions, and it happens to, like, literally all sides of the political spectrum, like literally just the people that run these platforms just ban people that they disagree with. And I think people say that, Twitter and Google has a left bias, but if you believe that, you severely underestimate the extent to which they're willing to censor certain views. And then there's also the issue of the blue checkmark thing. Like, I don't think anyone likes the concept of blue checkmarks at all. It's just... I have 6. Alright, let's let's pause politics.exe so I can actually figure out what I'm doing here. Where am I going? What am I doing? So at 13 stars... Oh, there we go. That's what I'm looking for. 7. Was there an 8th over there? Where's number 8? Ooh, that was dumb. Okay. There's a solution to this problem, and it's called going to a different world now in shame. Failed, I have. Go into exile, I must. I'm not gonna try to do a full-on Yoda voice. I'm not... I could. Failed, I have. Go into exile. No, yeah, I can't do it. I don't have the rasp. You need rasp for that to work. You know what? Let's take on Bows. You know, something kind of stupid about Nintendo that I'm thinking of now, just because of the whole Bowsette meme, is that, like, Nintendo has some very strange opinions towards people with different sexual orientations. There was a game for the 3DS that a lot of people fondly remember called Tamagotchi Life. And it was just like a cool little, like, life sim kind of weird thing. And in that game, originally you could have characters and they would develop homosexual relationships, and Nintendo patched that out. Like, patched it out like it was a glitch. Which is like... I mean, it's like, damn, you don't have to, like, change your fucking Twitter logo, but that's just, like... That's just cold, you know? Like... That's just fucking cold. And then there was the kind of Nintendo disavowal of the Bowsette meme. And yeah, it was a little... It was a little weird, but, like... You know... Bowsette supports trans rights. I don't think Nintendo supports trans rights. I mean, you know, it's just, it is what it is. I mean, Nintendo's just like, everything about Nintendo that isn't the actual game development is just kind of weird and highly questionable. Like, they've never had their shit together. I don't think they know whatever made them successful. And I don't think they fully understand the extent to which they have the capability to fail. And it produces some interesting results. I mean, there's still a lot of people out there that literally only play Nintendo games. And I can see why. But I don't think I could ever go back to, like, only having a Nintendo system, you know? It's just... It has this weird way of being very different, but also completely lacking in variety. I think Nintendo, like people have been saying for years, Nintendo just needs to, like, go with the program and, like, just make a regular console. The Switch is kind of cool, but, let's be real. Most people who have a Switch are playing that shit in portable mode. Whether you have a regular one or a Switch Lite, like... It's a handheld, first and foremost. It's using cell phone hardware, basically. It's like... I mean, it's really, really good cell phone hardware, but the Switch is basically a cell phone with buttons that plays games that are actually good. Oh, you have to Okay, here's another thing that Mario Sunshine does better than 64. The fucking boss battles. Like, the boss battles in Mario 64, they're shit. This, what you're seeing right now, this is shit. You're not actually watching a video game, you're just watching shit. Oh yeah, and here's another fun thing, is you have to abuse your already aging, flimsy Nintendo 64 joystick just to does anyone enjoy this? Does anyone like these? This is stupid. This is dumb. They should I don't even get, I literally won, and I don't even understand, and I'm angry, because this game sucks. No, I'm just kidding, it doesn't suck. It's a good game. This, make no mistake, I trash this game, and I wish people would be more earnest about its flaws, but this is a good game, you know? It just is. Well, let's go ahead and do the downstairs. One thing that I appreciate about this game is the hub world. I think, I don't know, it's kind of disappointing to have just a level select screen with a basic map. I mean, I get that people feel like it's more streamlined, but it's just boring. Sorry, I paused there for a second. I was holding back a burp because I would greatly enjoy it if I didn't have too many weird burps and gaffes on the tape. Yeah, anyway, let's head into lava, lethal lava. I thought my brain for a second thought it was just called Lava Land, and I got caught in a loop there. So which one? Big Bully. Okay. Okay, here's another thing about Mario 64 that's dumb. This fucking the bully stuff. Does anyone like this mission? Or this level? This level is stupid. Everything about this game is dumb, and you're probably very unintelligent for enjoying this game as much as you do, because nostalgia has blinded you to all of this game's flaws. Okay, you're supposed to go to this platform, you beat up those guys, and then the big one appears. And that's stupid, because, there's no indication of where you're really supposed to go. This is just guesswork. I've beaten this game multiple times, and this is still just guesswork for me. And it's dumb. It's stupid. This is stupid. This is just stupid outright. You shouldn't have to do this. They shouldn't have programmed this. The person who designed this should be fired and divorced. Okay, that's a little extreme. But there, that's one. But seriously, does anyone enjoy this or like this? I don't think so. I don't fucking think so. I think if you do, you should go down into the comments section and have a little Reddit argument with me. Okay, that's the thing, is YouTube comments and Reddit comments hate each other, but they're literally the same thing. I mean, it didn't used to be. YouTube comments used to be really fucking awful, but like now it's basically just Reddit. It's got Reddit humor. It's just that same thing where like on the most serious topics and videos, you'll still find people joking and making like this. It's just. But yeah, anyway, this level's stupid. You're stupid for liking it. And now we're gonna do more of it. Bully the bullies. That's actually... I don't know. See, I have a problem with that word. Because, like... I just feel like it's a convenient... Wait, that wasn't... Okay... Excuse me, what the fuck? So I did the wrong one. See, that's another thing. Mario Sunshine wouldn't fucking be this way. But then again, I mean, I guess I was also able to make progress in the game without really knowing what I was doing. I mean, I don't know. Okay, was it this one? Is it this one? Really? I feel like lava in this game is like way more of a hazard than it was in the other games. You know? Then again, I think in Mario Sunshine you only ever run into lava like once. No. Oh, I remember. This one you're supposed to... I think you're supposed to do like every single little one in the map, and then a big one appears. And that's dumb, and we're not doing that. We're going here. Volcano time. Whoops. Alright, we're just gonna go to the top. That's the simplest way to do this. So anyway, back to politics. I hate it when people like apologize for like blatant mistakes that the DNC makes. Like a really poopy take that I've seen recently is that like people using Hanlon's razor to like describe political events, like, oh, maybe they're not conspiring to control you and, you know, prevent your voice from mattering. Maybe they're just really stupid and they don't know any better. And here's why that's dumb. When it comes to politics, or anything really, or just like life in general, your intentions don't matter, like, ever, right? Like it fundamentally does not matter if the DNC actually conspired against the candidates or not, because the result is still the same. The result is your voice didn't matter if you voted in, or I guess it's not technically voting, if you, because caucuses and Iowa, there's just so many layers of like not democracy. It's like, okay, first of all, it's a caucus. So you're literally just getting people in a fucking high school gymnasium to stand under the candidate that they support the most. You know, instead of like like, who the fuck came up with that shit? Like, I mean, I guess like in the past there weren't primaries, you know? it used to, because that's another thing, is like, if you're not American, or even if you are, but not familiar, it used to be that you didn't have primaries anywhere, ever. Like, the Republicans would just choose a candidate, the Democrats would choose a candidate, that was it, that was that, you know? And then, like, about 50 years ago, people were like, wait a minute, that's like, that's stupid. That's fundamentally undemocratic. So they decided to institute this weird system of half democracy where we have primary elections. So, like, they're not real, right? Like, they're maintained by the political parties and not the government. And because of that, you don't have the same protections or guarantees. Like if the DNC actually did conspire to snub Bernie or Pete Buttigieg or whatever the case was, like, they could do that and it would be legal, and like, nobody could do anything about it. Like, they literally, like, the DNC could just come out and say, yeah, Bernie's not gonna get the nomination because we said so, even if he wins every primary in every state. Because it's technically an unofficial election, but the problem is it is an official election. Like it's not an official election, but in a two-party system, it's official enough to matter, right? And so that's layer one of not democracy, is the fact that it's a caucus and the fact that we have primaries and that these elections do not have the same protections as the general election or even a midterm election. On top of that, so Iowa, and keep in mind, people say, like, oh, it's a tradition. It's only existed since, like, 1970. It's not much of a tradition. And we kind of, like, because of the media coverage that Iowa gets, because of the way that the primary system is set up, is that basically whoever gets their momentum going in Iowa tends to go on to get the nomination. And if you fuck up Iowa, then, like, 9 times out of 10 you're dead. Like, I mean, there's not a lot of data to go on because there have only been so many elections since Iowa was important, but, like, you get the idea. We've basically chosen that this one state, whatever they think, is essentially going to influence the entire country. And maybe you agree with that. Maybe you're the kind of person that thinks that, well, we're a republic, and, I mean, it's like, yeah, but, like, so is every other country. Like, is that really what you want to strive for? And that's, I don't know. It just it undermines the whole idea of this country just being a good democratic country where your voice matters. And nobody really believes that shit. But that's what's so weird, is that you have to constantly pretend like there's something that actually sets apart this country. And I agree, it's different and even exceptional in a lot of ways, but, like, I think people get kind of carried away with the idea, like, you know, America is just kind of a fluke. Carried away with the idea, like, you know, America is just kind of a fluke. It's just kind of like, that's the thing, is if you don't know what that is, it's an old Soviet propaganda tactic. When people would criticize the Soviet Union, a lot of official responses would be like, well, look at America, they're just blatantly imperialist. So, like, basically downplaying your own flaws to point out the flaws of another. Or, like, I mean, it is what it sounds like. It's saying, you know, in response to any criticism of you, you say, well, what about this? And I think the problem, the fundamental flaw of American exceptionalism is that when you criticize America, a lot of the times you're met with like, oh, well, we're not perfect, but look at those guys. And it's like, I don't think any great decision in this country has ever been met with like, oh yeah, system's not perfect, we have to deal with it. It's like, yeah, children can work in factories for pennies a day, but you know, it's the system we have. It's just depressing. It doesn't make for good politics, I think. Yeah, going in here was kind of a mistake, but I guess this is where we're going. Let's go to the top of the pyramid. So one thing that's weird about this game that I don't like is that in this world specifically, you have this quicksand, but there's like different kinds. There's quicksand that will almost immediately kill you, and then there's this, which will just kind of like, you just kind of have to jump over it, but if you fall, it's no big deal. And I think that's dumb. I think that's really dumb. Like that. If you go in there, you die, basically. And I'm gonna do that. Oh, you don't. Oh, yeah, you do. But, okay. Yeah, we're just... I don't know, I'm just kind of like... What the fuck? Why would they do this to you? Oh, guess we're not doing that world. Yeah, let's go back to lava, lethal lava. I always felt like I never liked the basement part of the game, because I always felt like they just decided to, like, put all the shitty levels in the basement, right? Because, like, in the beginning you get the kind of easy ones that, like, introduce you to the idea of the game, and then the upstairs ones, that's where all the cool shit is. And then you got this, it's like you got lava, desert, and cave. And, yeah, I don't know, I always felt like and that's another thing that Mario Sunshine does better, is that it's just paced better. It doesn't slump in the middle like this game does. I don't like games that do that, you know, where the beginning's really good, the end is really good, but then you gotta slog through all this shit that comes in the middle. I feel like one of the flaws of capitalism in gaming, you know, and this has been a flaw, like, ever present, eternally, always, you know, even in the earliest days, I mean, is the idea that you have to, like, artificially inflate the length of your game, because if it's not long enough, if you can beat it in too short of a time frame, it generates a feeling of, you know, not getting your money's worth. And you might think that's the fault of whoever's playing the game, but it's really not. If you're working minimum wage, $60, which is the standard price of a game and always has been, even, I mean, there was a time in the early 2000s when they were like 50, but then they caught back up. But basically, $60, that's, I mean, you're talking like, what, you know, at minimum wage, after taxes, that's like 10 or 11 hours of work, basically. I mean, you're basically talking like an entire shift and a half of time on this earth that you'll never get back. So if you're paying $60 for a game, it better be at least that long. And not only that, but it better be enjoyable for that amount of time. And I think that's a weakness that, you know, as long as whether you think capitalism should exist or not, that's a problem that's not going to go away as long as capitalism is around and intertwined with gaming. And I think that's another thing, is that people believe that, like, small reforms will make a difference, but they don't. Yeah, there's, like you can regulate loot boxes all you want, and, you know, do all kinds of other things, and, you know, put whatever, you know, cigarette warning labels on games that you want, but, like, in reality, if you don't change the system, you're not going to change what the system ends up producing. And I mean, that's just the long and short of it, you know? I mean, I guess it's like you don't... I mean, I guess it's the same thing that any capitalist would tell a low-wage worker. You don't get to have your cake and eat it too. You don't get to have capitalism and a gaming scene that isn't constantly controlled by it. And it's interesting because gamers are very quick to point out the flaws of capitalism and gaming. They just never actually put their finger on the culprit, right? Like, they'll say, like, okay, you should be able to mod a console and put whatever unsigned software on it that you want. DRM really shouldn't be a thing, right? I've already paid for the hardware, why can't I use it the way I intend? And the reason is because if they allowed you to, it would be way too easy for you to pirate games, and therefore get those hours of enjoyment without having to sacrifice your 10 hours in the whatever store, you know, the Burger King, the factory back room, whatever it is. Basically, Nintendo wants you there more than they want you actually playing their games because it benefits them. And I don't think they believe that because they're evil. I just think they believe that because they believe that that's how the world works and should work and always has worked and always will. Because people that believe in capitalism tend to believe in the inevitability of constructs which have only existed for a very short amount of historical time. Right? Like, they'll talk about the results of human choice as though they're somehow inevitable and not like the results of human... God, fuck, I hate this. You know, not like the results of human choice, and it's like... I don't know. Sounds like you're just kind of giving the system an excuse to do what it does, you know? And I think that's the problem with our politics, is that too many people think that you can solve all of the problems that capitalism creates without actually solving the tragedy and the problem of and I do think it is a tragedy. I think the fact that, like, I don't think you're stupid for believing that capitalism is the only way. I think that's just what people just kind of believe in this country. And I think that's a tragedy more than that's an act of conscious malice or stupidity. And you know, we're going back to the other thing. It doesn't matter. Intentions don't matter because the effect is the same. But I think if you're engaging in some kind of advocacy, it's important to recognize that, you know, more than it should make you angry, it should make you sad. You know, not a kind of sadness like, oh, woe is me, like, I'm gonna give up, but like a, you know, like just damn, that's sad kind of sadness. this looks like a level that I hate and don't want to do. And I think that's another thing about games and capitalism is that they fill these games with all kind of like trinkets and extra missions and shit that like aren't any actual fun to do. But it's just another way to get that feeling, that high of getting your money's worth, whatever that really means. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. So, while I'm talking about the fact that capitalism controls gaming, I think it might be important to point out that this whole idea of like, you know, rasterized 3D is, you know, just like 3D rendering in general. Sega kind of started that shit with their old arcade boards, and if you look even deeper into it, Sega got that technology from Lockheed fucking Martin. Well, they weren't called that at the time, but, you know, I think it was just Lockheed, or whatever it was. It was like, basically they got the technology from the military-industrial complex, because literally all of this shit, the very idea of rendering a game in 3D, that was started like basically as a way to make flight training easier. Like flight sims were basically the first 3D applications, and then Sega somehow, because like Sega kind of has a history with the military. They were originally started in the 1940s, well, I think there was a different company founded by the same founders in the 40s, and then they made another company around the time of the Korean War called Service Games, and they made pinball machines and other such things for the military, and then they had to switch over to video games because Eisenhower introduced legislation that pretty much like banned gambling and stuff from the military and pinball machines, so they kind of got their they kind of got regulated a little bit there. So they went into gaming and they made the Fonz arcade machine, the weird little like game, like very distant precursor to Outrun kind of thing. I guess Hang-On is what it's closer to, but yeah. How do you... Oh, that's right. You gotta do this. And then... Okay. And then... So this is some shit that, like, Mario Sunshine would never do. Like, you can't say that this isn't the stupidest fucking mission in the entire game. Because it just controls so bad. Oh god, and then the frame rate chugs, and basically this game is bad, and you're kind of dumb for enjoying it. But yeah, anyway, yeah, Sega got their technology from Lockheed Martin. Lockheed Martin got the money to develop that technology from the military, so ipso facto, Mario 64 is the result of public funding. Well, I mean, okay, that's a little bit of a stretch, but there would be no Mario 64 without public funding of the technology that would go on to become what we now know as 3D in games. And I just think that's like a pretty important thing to like point out when we say things like capitalism leads to innovation, because when you actually look into it, the real innovation is a result of public funding, not necessarily not government funding necessarily, not state funding, public funding funding of the commons, crowdfunding. That's basically what that is just the government is basically just like the 1700s version of Kickstarter. My cat is back. Why are you biting my hair? There's nothing in there for you, I promise. Oh boy. The joys of being a cat owner. What to do next? Oh yeah, you know what? I think I know which mission I'm gonna do. So you really need 30 stars? That is bullshit. This is bullshit. Uninstall. You know, technically, taking a cartridge out of a cartridge-based game system is uninstalling, because the way that these systems work is that the cartridge, and this is the reason why loading times are instant on cartridge games, is because the computer essentially addresses the cartridge the same way it addresses RAM. It's literally in the same address space. So like and so basically because of that, you don't need to actually load anything into RAM. The game can literally just load assets directly from the cartridge in real time, constantly. And in that way, the cartridge is essentially treated as part of the console. It's part of the RAM, the memory, the address space. It's just you can think of it like RAM that is static and read-only. That is basically what a game cartridge is.
Here we go!
And because of that, technically taking a cartridge out of a cartridge-based game console is uninstalling the game. I don't know. That's what I think is, I don't know, I'm not like big in the next gen I apologize. I'm not big into the next gen console hype. You know, I think you should never buy a console at launch. It's just not going to have the games. But I think the technological approach that they're taking with SSDs is... Let's see, what's a mission I can do here that doesn't suck? Yeah, I think the whole SSD idea is pretty interesting, because it's like almost kind of going back to that, because an SSD kind of is like a future cartridge. It's like, is this where I'm supposed to go? Is where I'm trying to go? So if I remember correctly, if you go into the toxic maze part, there's a little area where you can jump, and there's a box with a star. You just have to find it without dying. Yeah, I mean, I think the whole idea of using SSD, I think that's pretty interesting. Especially with the fact that they've literally patented a design of cartridges. Like a cartridge with an SSD that's presumably just like interchangeable. You can just take it in and out. That's like... It's interesting. But I think they're still going to have problems with it. And I think the reason why is because if you have an Xbox One or a PS4, it doesn't apply so much on PC because PC has always been kind of different, but on Xbox and PS4, everyone knows the struggle of like only being able to install 5 games at once. And I feel like SSDs are just going to make that problem even worse. I mean, Sony's said that they're going to try to make install sizes smaller, but when you got 4K games, high quality textures, really high quality audio, surround sound, there's only so much compression that you can do. There's only so much optimization that you're going to be able to do, and the result is going to be that you're probably going to end up with much the same problem. Except this time you're going to be dealing with storage that's way faster, and hopefully your internet speeds are faster than they were during the PS4 era, but then again, there's America. Thanks, oligarchy, and that's another thing. So you might think that, like, how do I put this? Cable companies are so rich because of capitalism that they can literally pay to change the laws, right? Like, Comcast has made deals with so many municipalities saying basically, like, only we are allowed to provide internet here. And it's kind of poop. It's kind of poop, to be honest. And they only have that power because they have money. You know, like don't go thinking that just because some company uses an advantage that the government gave them, that means the government's bad. Remember, capitalism always has kind of a cooling effect on democracy. I mean,
Mamma mia!
it's lobbying, it's donations, I mean, I don't necessarily think that, I think on its face, we do need something kind of like lobbying, right? Like, politicians can't be experts on everything, and even more importantly, you can't just put experts into political positions. But I think when money is the key to talking to politicians, that's always going to taint the system, right? That's just the way it be. You know, if you're, and that's always going to be a problem with capitalism, because even if you reform and you manage to set up some system where experts can have meaningful and hopefully impactful discussion with politicians without money being involved, any guy that comes at a politician with money, the deal is always going to be sweeter. Even if it has to be done illegally, even if it has to be done in a back room, because capitalism will always take both sides of the legal argument, and both sides of arguments in general. You know, capitalism will use the law when it suits them, and if it doesn't, they will actively work to undermine it, work to change it, or work against it, or just work around it. And that's the problem. Any person that believes in capitalism will tell you that capitalists always find a way around deregulation, and I think that's a funny admission, because it kind of highlights a problem of capitalism that, like, even if you get something passed that, like, unequivocally everyone agrees with, people in positions of capital power are always going to find a way to cheat it. And even though it's a result of human choice, you know, the inevitability argument will be made, well, you know, how was I supposed to not pay a politician to institute this law? How was I, you know, it's like, it's weird, because you would never apply a logic to anything else, right? Like you would, like appealing to human nature is basically a fallacy, because there's no such thing as human nature. Humans fundamentally are separate from nature. And if you agree that if you forfeit the impact of human choice, you basically agree that humans are not very different from animals, you know? And it's just, again, it's depressing. And it kind of sells humanity short by even thinking or saying something like that. Like how can you sit there and how can you sit there and say that exploitation is inevitable, right? Nothing that a human does is inevitable, right? Like, you wouldn't sit there in front of a judge and say, sorry, Your Honor, it was inevitable that I had to steal this iPhone, right? Because I want an iPhone, and if I can't get an iPhone through legitimate means, I'm always going to find a way to cheat the system. You wouldn't take shit from someone who would say something like that. So then why would you take shit like that from someone who is significantly more powerful and influential? It doesn't compute. It's stupid. It's dumb. And you're dumb for... No, I won't say that. You're only dumb if you like Mario 64. But yeah, I mean, I guess that's another thing is that, like, even if you believe in capitalism, please don't sell human choice short. Please, like, if you want to advocate for capitalism and say it's the only system we can viably do, fine. But, like, don't come at people with this bullshit about how it's inevitable when it's literally just a result of human choice. Right? I mean, that's what politics is. It's just, how do we interface with and limit human choice? It's... I don't know. And the thing is, capitalists kind of don't. They say, well, a better company would do something differently. But if you have every incentive not to do something, like, you shouldn't be surprised, right? Well, I guess a better way to put it is, if you really truly believe that all we need is a good company, an ethical company, then why do you even believe that we need a company, right? Because clearly you believe that people could be choosing to do something differently. You just don't believe in a specific choice, which is very strange. Chapo Trap House said it best. It's just, you're just trying to put brake pads on the soul harvester when, you know, you could just dismantle the soul harvester. And I think that's my, like, main problem with, like, the Booty Judge people and the Warren people is that even if you take that we only need reform, their versions of reform are terribly lukewarm and would not accomplish anything. Like, that's the thing, is like, Bernie Sanders is not a socialist. He's a social democrat. In fact, his version of social democracy is actually somewhat conservative compared to what other countries have instituted. And make no mistake, like, Norway is a capitalist country, right? Sweden is a capitalist country. It's still capitalism. It's still liberal. It's in some ways even right-wing. I mean, some of these countries, like Ireland, is a corporate tax haven. I mean, there's nothing even liberal about that. But then you got all these people that think that, oh, it's socialism because the government's doing stuff, right? It's like, bro, why? Okay, I remember this one. I was kind of confused. My mind was like blanking on this mission for a second. So there should be a ghost somewhere. Oh, no, wait a minute. No, that's right. Okay, here's another stupid thing that Mario 64 does. Anyone that sings the praises of Mario 64, they'll say something along the lines of like, well, it's better because you can do the missions out of order. And that's a really solid argument. The problem is that sometimes you fucking can't for like no reason. And I am in one such mission. And that's the problem. It's like, mostly, this is a game that I can mindlessly play and, like, bullshit and just talk while I play it. But, like then you run into this shit and you're like, oh, yeah, I remember. You know, it's like... Yeah, so anyway, so what you're supposed to do, you basically just go bottom to top, left to right, just go clear out the ghost. Here's the big scary piano. Why do people say this was scary? This didn't even scare me when I was a kid. This is bullshit. It's a meme. It's... Oh yeah, fun fact, you can kill these books and these chairs and they drop coins. But you have to punch them at just the right time. Okay, here we go. There's the first one. And here's another little... So this mission is stupid. It's... Okay, so first of all, you have to do this mission before you do any of the other missions in the world. And second of all, every time you kill one of these ghosts, you get a text box. It's... I don't know. I just never liked this one. And then you got this bullshit right here, which is like... Anyone who's ever played this game on an emulator in the early 2000s knows how difficult this fucking bridge is if you're on an emulator and a keyboard. Windows 2000 game represent. It's kind of weird how like 20 years ago, I guess not quite 20, almost 20 years ago, Project 64 was like the best N64 emulator, and now here we are in the year 2020 and Project 64 is like still kind of the best one. I really didn't get all of them? Oh, you don't even go on the top floor in this mission, I forgot. Or at least you're not intended to. Oh, wait, no, I remember. Okay, here's another stupid thing. And again, like, this game is just paced like poopy dog shit. So what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to go around here, then you go all the fucking way to the back, right? And then you go here. And nothing in the game indicates that to you, unless you have the official Prima strategy guide. That's another trend that I'm glad is fucking died. I mean, you can they still sell them. And people stupefyingly collect them because you can get gamers to collect any bullshit, I swear. But yeah, I mean, I'm kind of glad the whole thing of like strategy guides died, because that's another problem with capitalism in gaming, is that people, the developers will put intentionally really obtuse obstacles and sometimes intended stuff in a game, pretty much just to sell the strategy guide, right? You're not actually supposed to play the first Zelda without a guide. You're supposed to, flip through the little 90-page thing that the game comes with, and then go into Nintendo Power and then call them up and then order a bigger strategy guide from Nintendo. And basically give Nintendo more money for doing pretty much nothing. And I am really glad we have GameFAQs. Do people still use GameFAQs? Or is it all YouTube now? I mean, it exists, and there are definitely still GameFAQs for every new game that comes out, but oh yeah, here's another mandatory, Can we not? I'm trying to have a moment here of reverence for an ancient meme. Let's pay our respects. L is real. People really went crazy over this statue back in the day. It literally doesn't mean anything. It's just an extra thing that they put in so that way this wouldn't just be a big flat area, but people really got carried away with that. Huh? So we're at 23, we only need 7, so let's just go back out. Let's do some of the actually good stages for a second. Alright, I guess we're doing this one. We're coming back for the revenge. This is bullshit. He's cheating. He's using a Game Shark code. He should be banned. We should get... Dude, remember when games on the PC would have anti-cheat by GameSpy? Those were the days. Those weren't really the days, though. I'm actually really glad that a lot of things that used to make PC gaming really obtuse and shitty have now been mostly ironed out. Because, PC gaming, it used to kind of suck. Okay, no. Bruh, how can they do this, though? This isn't democracy. This is rigged. This is more rigged than the Iowa caucus. Also, I love how everyone's talking about how the Iowa caucus was so rigged and everything, but people completely ignore the fact that almost every state has changed the Republican primary rules to make it so that basically nobody but Trump could get the nomination. That Trump won literally every delegate in Iowa with no competition. And some states probably aren't even having a primary this year. And everyone's focused on the DNC, because frankly, it's the one that actually matters, but the RNC is even worse. Man, this is just not my day on this shit, is it? Is there a different mission that I can do that's less, poop? Wait a minute, isn't there a 1-up that always appears here? Or is my brain just making that up? I thought there was like a 1-up, like somewhere really close. Like at the top of this tree? It was at the top of one of these trees. Right? Oh yeah, here's another thing. The climbing system in this game is really weird. It's just one of the subtle differences between this game and Sunshine. That Sunshine objectively did better. Okay, I think it was this tree. Like, how is it that going to the side... Okay, it wasn't. I'm just being stupid. Okay. Well, so much for that. I think there's a 1-up that you can get if you jump for it right here. No 1-up, only ping. Oh, I know what it is. I know what makes the penguin bullshit. Rubber band AI. If you go too far ahead, yeah, see, it does that shit. I despise rubber band AI. It is the epitome of artificial difficulty. See, that was so much easier because I specifically did worse. Good game design, Nintendo.
Here we go!
Oh wow, it's already 3 a.m. Well, we're like, what, like a third of the way through the game, basically? Let's keep going. So what's the next one? 8 coin. Okay, you know what? I'll do another 8 coins one. This one's kind of tricky because this level's pretty big, but I'm here for it. I am sincerely here for it. Sometimes I wonder if Retsupre is still around. Like, I'm subscribed to Slow Beef, but I don't think they do the... Do they? Do they still do that? Is that still a thing? I don't think there's, like, enough material for them anymore. You know? Maybe there is. Maybe there's hope. I'm just thinking about that because I'm wondering, like, because I'm just thinking out loud, like, I'm probably in the process of making the kind of shit that Retsupre would make fun of. And there was a time when that would, like, really boost your channel, and now I don't even think people know what that is anymore. Because YouTube is so different. I remember in like 2014, people were saying stuff like, oh, you know, never start a YouTube channel because like all of the people that are already popular have gotten popular. And I mean, yeah, PewDiePie's still on top, but for the most part, a lot of the channels that people watch now are like pretty recent. I mean, I don't think anyone's gotten like huge, but there's a lot of channels that have only gotten their start in the last, like, you know, 3 years or so that are at, like, hundreds of thousands of views and subscribers already. It's kind of weird because there was no way to tell that it was going to be like this. But YouTube just kept getting bigger, and now we are where we're at, and now this is like, This is what I'm making here. This is the YouTube equivalent of like postmodernism. No, it's not. I'm gonna. It's something. It's something. Is there a red coin? I remember there was one in a really bullshit spot. Was it up there? Wait, hold on. Oh, you motherfucker. This is what we would call something that would not happen in Mario Sunshine. Or another synonym for it is bullshit. Okay, let's try this shit again. By the way, I'm not editing anything. I am straight up gonna just upload this whole thing. I don't care. This is gonna, like, people there's gonna be aliens that are gonna study this Let's Play as a test of human. Is there a star in here? No. Just the one up. Well, that will make up for the one that I lost. You know what's stupid? The Dark Souls progression system as an alternative to the live system. No, don't get me wrong. I like Dark Souls, and I even like some games that rip off Dark Souls in some ways. Like, I played this really interesting game recently, and it just came out of early access or something. It was called Elderborn, and the whole idea is that it's first-person Dark Souls. It's like basically take the combat from Skyrim, make it good, and make the game really punishing with a Souls-like progression system and very simplified RPG mechanics. And it's a budget title. It's cheap. It looks like a PS3 game and everything, but it's like very good for what it is. I've already helped you. Shut up. Yeah, I mean, and that's an example of what I would call like a good Souls-like game. One that I would call not good is I'm gonna get some turbo shit for this. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. It's cool. I like the game for the exploration and the Uncharted-like aspects. I just don't really vibe with the whole. I have already helped you. I just don't really vibe with the whole Souls thing, and the game just has really inconsistent difficulty. Like, basically the boss fights are like 20 times harder than the actual game, especially Terra Malicos. If you play the game, you know what the fuck I'm talking about. Yeah, the bosses are supposed to be harder than the regular game, but like, there's a point where it's like, you literally go from like nothing to like, holy fucking shit, how do I do this? And the thing is, I didn't have to Google any of the puzzles, even like the side mission, and the cat just walked in front of my screen. Yeah, like, I didn't have to Google any of the puzzles, any of the side missions, any of that shit. Please don't tilt my cartridge. Get down. Buddy. Here. There we go. Yeah, see? There you go. Thankfully, I have ways to psychologically manipulate my cat. Nope, here you're just gonna be right in front of the screen. Here, you want this? For some reason, my cat enjoys anything that's cold. Like, he'll just, like, go up to it, like, lick it, observe it. So I just have this, like, can of soda. And, I'm in a basement that's not heated. And it's
somewhat chilly, so he just like, this, you know, aluminum ice water. Dude, my cat goes fucking bananas over ice water, and I don't know why, but it's hilarious and adorable. Is that 7? Yep, I know where the last one is. I know what I'm doing now. Okay. I think mentioning Ret's Prey essentially protects me from being Ret's-Preyed because they don't like people that want attention, and the fact that I've even passingly mentioned Ret's-Prey probably would indicate them in some way that there's a potential that what I'm doing is Ret's-Prey bait, but in fact it's not. Everything you heard was my genuine, sincerely held beliefs. This is unfiltered. This is me. So to believe that I am Ret's-Prey bait is to believe that my humanity is Ret's-Prey bait. But yeah, you know, I mean, this is what it is. You know what I don't really find interesting? Let's players who only talk about the game, because it's like, fuck that shit. Wait, where's the star? Wait, holy fuck, I forgot where the star... Oh. Wait, no I don't. I remember, it's in a really stupid place. Oh my god, I hate this fucking game. Dude, like, how can you not hate this game? How can you not despise every waking minute of it? Fuck this, I'm doing something else. What else do we got here? Oh yeah, I never really finished Bob on Battlefield. I mean, I may as well tidy that up. Really, I've almost completed this one. You know what I'm not doing? 100 coin missions. That, like, you can't tell me that the 100 coin missions weren't made just to artificially lengthen this game. It's bullshit. It's stupid. It's dumb. You're dumb for liking it. Amen. Okay. So if I remember this bullshit correctly, you're supposed to... Okay, there's one. This is another thing that, like, Mario Sunshine doesn't do, is these things where it's like, there's multiple missions like this in the game where you have to hit these, there's like 5 hidden things in a level, you know, coins or enemies or whatever, and you have to hit all 5 of them, and yeah, they only ever did that in this game, and then they got rid of it, and I'm glad they did, because it's just stupid. It's poop. It is poop. Holy crap, it is raining outside now. I'm kind of glad, though. It's cozy. This is a very cozy... I hope that if you're watching this and you've made it this far by some stupefying way, that you find this cozy in some way, because that's what I'm going for. You know, no like Twitch chat, no, you know, donations, no monetization, no ads, just like, yeah, imagine just recording yourself playing a video game and talking about it and then putting it up on YouTube with like no ulterior motive, no, you know, like, when it comes to YouTube gaming, we've lost something, you know? Gained a lot, yeah. Like, I mean, I don't think I would ever really want to go back to 2007. I'm not, I mean, you can tell by the way that I'm trashing this game, I'm not, you know, all about nostalgia, but, like, I think we can all agree that there's something special about late 2000s YouTube that's kind of been lost. There we go, that's what... See, that's stupid, that's dumb. You're dumb if you like this mission. Anyway, boom. Speedrun strat. That's not... Speedrunner would probably do this way faster. If Siglemic is watching this, which probably would never happen, but... Is it just a fast let's play or a slow speed run? So yeah, I'm done with that. Not doing 100 coins, fuck that. Okay. Next, oh, you know what I haven't done yet? The slide thing. Okay, can we do this in time? I think what you're supposed to do is you just jump. Boom! What the fuck? Holy shit! Okay, I think I might have fudged it. I forgot, you're supposed to do it like... Yeah, you have to do it in, I think, 19 seconds is what they require for the extra star. That's just easy star. That just gets me closer to Bowser in the Fire Sea. And then once we do that, like, we're pretty much, like, in the home stretch. Even though it doesn't seem like it with only 30 stars, like, they come a lot faster. Ha ha ha, that's what she said. I despise the concept of comedy. Anyway, 19 seconds. Let's hear it for 1996, the release year of this videographic video game. Alright, here we are. Bowser and the Bowser and the Bowser and the Bowser and the Bowser. That's how a pro does it. No. Okay. It was like 20, it was like 22, 23, 22, 23, 20, I don't know. We're gonna get it though, I'm not giving up. Even though I've literally given up on every single mission up to this point, that's been too hard for me to just brainlessly play it. I'm here for it. I like, now that I've gotten this far, I would like to get 70 stars in just one casual... That's another thing, is the concept of, like, you know, when you play a game, there has to be something to it. You have to get 100% completion. It's like, but like, what if you just play the game, though, you know? You know, no speed runs, no challenge runs, no vlogs or anything, just like... It's like, what if you played the game and then just like talked over it though, you know? I think that's what I don't like about the current gaming YouTube, is that there needs to be some justification for like every gaming video. You can't just play a game anymore. And I do not believe in that. Now, I mean, yeah, like, I don't like blind run-throughs of a game. But, like, I've played this game before. I mean, I at least know it enough to beat it in one sitting. Even if there's a lot of fuck-ups. I mean, I'm not saying that I'll, like, never speedrun or I'll never do a challenge run of a game, but it's like, what if you just played a game, though, you know? What if you just played the video game? Like, the regular people way, right? And I mean, you know, there's literally no physical way to do this. This is dumb. This is stupid. And I will have the heads of every game designer that implemented this. I got a new idea. Fuck that. So let's see, I don't think we've done a whole lot in Jolly Roger. Let's go back. Take a trip down. Oh, Ocean Cave. I remember this one. This is like that shitty mission from earlier, but like again for some reason. Man, I'm not sure if it shows up on the tape, but there is a lot of dithering when you go underwater in this game that I never picked up on. I kind of wonder if, like, going underwater actually messes with a lot of the effects. It probably really does. Hello, what do you hear? Yeah. Yeah. Solid advice from my co-commentator. I think he deserves his own YouTube channel. We'll have plenty of material. Okay, so this one is the... Nope. Okay, but this... There we go. That's the good shit. I'm gonna die in the stupidest way possible, and then you just... Nobody likes this mission. Everybody hates it. I guess this mission will eat some worms. If that triggered your past, then like you're a real one. Huh? Red coins. Okay, this one wasn't too bad. This is still a red coin mission, but they're all like localized in one area, so it's not really that bad. Oh, wait a minute, are they? No, yeah, that's right. There was some there down here. Man, this game really slows down underwater. Like, not just like the swimming, but like the console like slows down. Fires 3. So anyway, okay, Star Wars Jedi. I like the Zelda stuff. I like the Uncharted stuff. I like the puzzles. I love the story. I won't spoil it, but it's got a really good story, and it's all canon and everything, if that's important to you, but, you know, the voice acting, like, all that stuff is really good. It has everything you might want from a Star Wars game, except they put Dark Souls shit in it, and it's not even, like, full-on Dark... It's like, you know, you got Estus flasks, you got bonfires, but you don't really have a stat progression system. Instead, you have set skills that you can learn, and instead of getting experience and levels, you get skill points that you can spend on specific things like a new lightsaber attack or slightly more HP. It's a little bit like leveling up, but you can only upgrade your... You know, it's not like you don't level up. You can only upgrade your health a certain amount of times. You can only upgrade your lightsaber a set amount of times. And I think that kind of undermines the whole Dark Souls thing, because, like, one of the things that make Dark Souls so good is that it rewards you for grinding as much as it rewards you for just being good at the game. And I think that's, like, the main reason why Dark Souls isn't just a good game, it's like a good RPG. And yeah, I don't know, I feel like they kind of like... I feel like they kind of like half get it, but they didn't really take it far enough. There's no character customization or anything. You play as a set character with set skills, which, it's important to the story, but it doesn't make for as good of a game as it could have been. I hope if there's gonna be a Star Wars Jedi 2, I really hope that they have either ditch the Soul system or have a much more fleshed out RPG kind of progression system. I think that would really help. I mean, not that the game was bad, it's like, I'm not looking for Dark Souls in every fucking game, you know what I mean? Like, it's the trendy thing right now, I guess. Where the fuck was that red coin? I'm at 7. I've already got that one. Wasn't there like one right by the beginning, or... Wait, yeah, this is dumb. This is stupid. They shouldn't have done this. Wait, was there another red coin down here? Oh my fucking god. 3 red coins in those things. See, that's dumb. That's bad. Bad Nintendo. Bad Nintendo.
Here we go!
Alright, I've been sitting down for a while, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna stand up, take a brief break, and I'm just gonna come right back to this. So this might look a little weird in the tape, but I'm just pausing the recording and I am going to take a break. I am human and welcome to video game. Oh my god. But like, goddamn, I talk fast when I want to. Like, my words just like mush together, and it's just weird. It's just weird how my brain does that. Okay, so let's see. Frosty coin for 8 red slide. I gotta say, this game looks way better with the N64 blur disabled. Oh, this is where you gotta go when you get all the... Okay. I always forget that. I really hate these red coin missions because they put the actual star in just some really out-of-the-way bullshit. And they did that in Sunshine too, so I can't really hold that against this game too hard. It is still raining from last night, even though I've had a full night of sleep since then. And it's kind of disturbing how much rain we get these days. You know? It definitely didn't used to rain like this. People tend to say, like, oh, well, weather and climate are not the same thing. And that's kind of true, but, like, there's a point when you get weather that you're obviously not supposed to have, right? Like, it doesn't just rain for 7 hours straight in, like, extremely heavy downpour in the southeastern U.S. That's just not really a big, you know, like, we shouldn't have Florida weather here, you know what I mean? It's terrible for the wildlife too, because the wildlife don't care if it's the weather or the climate, they're still dying, right? I don't know. It feels like any time there's like a big issue, there's like some way to downplay it, right? Like, oh yeah, you know, don't pay attention to the man behind the curtain, don't pay attention to all this weird weather we're having. Don't pay attention to how the DNC rigged Iowa. Okay, I know which coins. So there's this one here, and then there's the bullshit one up there. So we are going to take the teleport, and then all you gotta do is just get down there without dying, basically. Thank you. See, I mean, there's a lot of games, even modern games, where you kind of have to wrestle with the camera, but this game is like, you have to have mixed martial arts with the fucking camera, basically. It's, I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and act like they didn't try, or like they had something better to compare it to, but still, I have to kind of hold that against this game a little bit. Even though I just said I'm not going to hold it against this. Don't pay attention to it. Don't worry about it. Don't think about it too hard.
and there's 29. It's really amazing what a night of sleep and a slightly less foggy head can do for you.
Go.
Oh yeah, I remember this one. This one was kind of and this is another example of, if I remember, you can only do this in this mission, because otherwise this won't talk to you here. And I guess that's kind of my problem with Mario 64, is that all of the things that people praise it for, the game doesn't even, like, do all the way consistently. Right, like this part, we can all agree that this mission is kind of bullshit and really didn't need to happen. I'm surprised I got that on my first try, but this mission's really easy to fuck up, because you're just kind of supposed to stay ahead of the snowball, and
Here we go!
there's like no indication of like how to do that. The game doesn't really explain it. Like when I was a kid, I did not know how to do that one. Well, let's go ahead, take Bowser in the Fire Sea, and things are gonna speed up from here on out. I would imagine I'll probably have the game beat in no more than 3 hours from this point. I probably won't have to use a second videotape for this. Or at least I hope not. Sorry, Lethal Weapon 3, some things are just more important.
Go.
Oh yeah, here's the funny little mission that everyone's been talking about on YouTube lately. Because apparently with this game, I've seen multiple conflicting viewpoints on this. So basically, people have recently reverse engineered the binary of this game and have generated C code that you can put through Nintendo's official Nintendo 64 tools, and you can generate a binary, or in other words, a ROM of the game that is literally identical to the US release version. They didn't have the actual source code, they just reverse engineered it. So it might not be like identical to the code, but it's close enough to matter. And one thing that was discovered, basically reverse engineering and decompiling the game, is that they didn't use any like compiler toolchain optimizations on the actual main game, and because that, this game is slowing down, because this is just more than the machine can handle, basically. And it only does it in this mission because it has this big sub here, and it has to just render all this geometry. Although, okay, so compiler optimizations wouldn't affect the GPU. That's the first, because I've seen, I forgot what the first guy, I know I watched Modern Vintage Gamer, and I forgot what the first guy to upload it, but basically, so compiler optimizations wouldn't really affect GPU performance, but it still does massively speed up this part of the game, because it probably still has to like make a lot of CPU calls and things like that. But like apparently they didn't use any compiler toolchain optimizations because because this was a launch game, and they were using tools for the Nintendo 64 that they had basically just created almost specifically for this game. So if they had used compiler optimizations, it actually could have generated code-breaking bugs that were patched out in later versions of their tools and libraries and things like that.
Here we go!
Or so, I mean, this is all theory. Nintendo is very secretive on how they develop their games. Like, for all they know, they literally, I mean, keep in mind, Nintendo, like, yeah, okay, sometimes they have, like, a well-optimized game, but, like, for the most part, they're not, like, very technically proficient most of the time, and it's probably somewhat possible that they literally just forgot, right? But it's hard to say. It's hard to say. I always kind of like the Bowser levels more than the actual game. I think it's kind of because this game has so much like weird fetch quest shit in it that I kind of wish they would take a more like, you know, Mario Galaxy approach where I mean I wouldn't want like every level to be like this, but I wouldn't mind if there was a lot more linearity in this game than what actually ended up in the game. Alright. Can we make that? No. Okay, well, at least I didn't burn. Yeah, let's go ahead. I think this is a 1-up. Let's go ahead and grab... Fuck my life. Let's go ahead. Let's get the spread. Let's okay. Yep, it is a 1-up, thank God. Okay. Oh. Actually, you shouldn't thank God. You should thank the random number generation routine used by the Nintendo 64, because, God isn't real. Checkmate. Oh, god damn. Well, actually, you shouldn't say god damn, because God isn't real and hell isn't real. Why do I feel like, even though I know Ben Shapiro is Jewish, why do I feel like Ben Shapiro would make literally the perfect atheist? I think that's what I don't hate. I don't have really much to say about Christians or atheism. I just hate the people that are like douchebags about, and you can be douchebags about Christianity, like, you know what I mean? Like, and it's also a lot more socially acceptable to be a douchebag about Christianity, but I guess part of the problem with something like Christianity is that it almost, I remember the kinds of shit people would say in, you know, when I was raised Catholic. Like, it really does encourage you to view outsiders as somewhat lesser than. And I do have a problem with that, and that's part of the core belief structure. But I guess atheists can be like that too. It's just that being a douchebag isn't much of a core pillar of belief. But seriously, does anyone like these fucking boss battles? God damn. Well, at least if you die here, you just get spat back out at the level, and you don't have to, like, redo the level. Which is a good thing, unless you game over. That level is gonna be bullshit. Okay, thankfully, oh, no. Get the fuck back here. Boom, there, got him, kill him. Okay, now we get to the good part of the game. We got that sloggy shit out of the way, we never need to go to the basement again. Alright, so now the game really opens up, because we can basically go to every level in the game at this point. And I think two things that I should do is unlock the invisibility cap. And, yeah, let's go ahead and get the invisibility cap, get the metal cap. Because I think at this point I can do both of those things. So the metal cap is somewhere in the cave level. Alright, let's see if I can remember where to go for this. I was really playing this game on autopilot last night. I made a lot of stupid mistakes. Oh, god damn it. Why am I surprised? Anyway. So it's somewhere around here. It's like, you have to go somewhere and do some shit, and then it'll come out of nowhere. I have entirely forgotten. But I'm not Googling that shit. Let's see, what's this? Oh, yeah, you know what? I actually remember where it is. It's, you have to go down to the, Yeah, you have to go down to the area with the Loch Ness Monster. Is this close? Probably not. Oh wait, yeah, it is. You just have to... Oop. You know what I hate? People that, like, still in 2019, like, complain about flat earthers or anti-vax people. Like, don't get me wrong, like, those are stupid beliefs, but, like, it's very obvious that it's just people talking down for a sense of superiority over others. Like, believe me, chances are you believe in some pretty stupid shit, right? I don't know, it's... The internet trains people to look down on others all the fucking time. Well, it's weird, because there's kind of a weird duality to it, where it encourages you to look down on everyone, but it also encourages you to respect everyone's beliefs. So it's just like... I mean, there is literally, like, a segment, and I consider this a segment of the anti-vax community, by the way. There's a segment of people that are like, well, I don't believe in anti-vax, but I believe everyone should have the freedom to choose. And that's stupid, because if people have the freedom to choose, the disease is gonna fucking spread anyway, right? Like,
science doesn't give exemptions for people, right? Like everyone has to be vaccinated, otherwise you have a giant fucking problem. And yeah, you gotta force people. You gotta force people. And I think that's the problem, is that you have to be comfortable with really anything in life. If you're going to be a parent, if you're going to be some sort of political figure, or even make political statements, or participate, I mean, even voting is, on some level, an act of forcing certain people to conform with your beliefs, right? What do you tell someone if they don't like the law that some politician has enacted, that even if it literally damages them, even if it literally kills them, what do they say back? Well, vote differently. If you don't vote in enough numbers, then, well, you deserve it. If you want to have even if you want to have a democracy, you have to be comfortable with forcing people, coercing people, really, into doing stuff. You can't go through life respecting people's beliefs to death, right? I mean, I guess another way to put it is the tolerance paradox, is that if you tolerate everything, including things like hateful beliefs, hateful rhetoric, Nazism, etc., the effect is that intolerant beliefs will still get normalized, and therefore tolerating literally everything does not actually produce a long-term culture of tolerance, right? Or in other words, you do have to be intolerant of certain things, and you better be real careful of what you choose to tolerate. And more importantly, you should probably take some responsibility for it too. Right? Like, this isn't, I mean, as a society, we already agree that free speech has limits. You can be you can be taken to civil court for saying certain things, slander and libel. You can be taken to criminal court for threatening people, and in some countries you can even be taken to criminal court for just holding beliefs that are anti-democratic. Free speech is a very nebulous concept, and it doesn't literally mean that you actually have to tolerate everything that everyone says. You can't really, and I don't believe in the idea of like appealing to the spirit of free speech. There is no spirit of free speech, right? Like, I can't really stop you from saying stuff. But me disapproving of what you say is not the same thing as taking away your freedom of speech. It's just me exercising my own. Because and that's another thing. People have real trouble understanding the fact that accepting your own freedoms also entails accepting the freedoms of others, right? You don't get to have the cake and eat it too. Oop. Okay, I'm trying to remember. How do you drain? I think it's this door over here. This game is slowly coming back to me. My memory is a little foggy on it still, but I'm definitely in a much better mental place for this shit than I was last night. Oh, whoops. Okay, yeah, you ground pound on each of these. And then it drains the water. Boom. And now we can get the invisibility cap. It really is weird how much, like, I'm noticing all throughout this game, there's like a lot of places where the polygons don't perfectly join together. You know, it's kind of interesting how much the removing the blur kind of reveals some of the mistakes. I kind of wonder if that's why they put blur on most N64 games. Because they were probably using some pretty damn basic 3D tools to put this together. Like, you know, they didn't exactly have Blender yet. Or maybe, did Blender? When, I don't actually remember when the first, I'm not aware of when the first version of Blender was out, but I'm pretty sure it didn't exist in 96. And I'm pretty sure most computers wouldn't really have been capable. Because, I mean, you gotta realize, 96, like, yeah, there was Windows 95, but most people were literally still using DOS on, like, a 386 computer. Most people didn't even have the internet at this point. This was just 3 years after the September that never ended. Yeah, that's right. I'm a Zoomer. I know what that is. I read Wikipedia. Man, it's so weird reading, like, old Usenet posts from, like, the late 80s and early 90s, because it shows you that, like, shit has not changed a bit. Like, people say, like, oh, the old internet was a while, it was different. It's like, no, it was just Reddit, but, like, without upvotes. Like, I saw this one, I'm sure many people have seen it, this old post from, like, 1989 saying, like, Nintendo is dead, Sega's gonna destroy them, and it's like, gee, where have we heard that kind of talk before? I don't know. It's funny. People think things are different that are not actually different. I guess that's what a lot of culture is. Oh fuck. Well, at least you don't lose a life. I've always had trouble with that last jump for some reason. Okay, let's take the shortcut. Can we? Ooh! That's how you do it right there. But yeah, I mean, it was probably a lot easier to find drugs, but, like, that's about it, you know? My neighbor's outside calling their dogs. I'm just gonna be quiet for a minute.
Here we go! I'll get it at some point.
You know what's stupid? Nostalgia. Like, I mean, I say this as someone recording a Nintendo 64 game to VHS in 2020, but a lot of people
I don't know. I just don't like the mentality that's like always looking for the good old days. Because if you actually experienced the good old days, you would know that they were not good. They were just old. You know? I mean, you know, history is a good thing. I mean, it's interesting to look to the past. It's just, I just don't like the idea of idolizing the past. Okay. Yeah, I think this one here is my favorite level in the game. I always had fun with this one. Okay, I think this one you just go to the top. I wonder, can you long jump to that? I think you're supposed to use the cannon, but I get the feeling that there's a wait a minute. Oh yeah, okay. Whoops. I really did just fall into the newbie trap. Nice. Man, you know what's really shit? The Nintendo 64 controller. Like, there's actually people out there that think that this thing is good. And it's really not. You know what I mean? Like, so first of all, the joypad is stiff as shit. It has a D-pad that I think like 2 entire games use. I mean, it was an important step in the evolution. Okay, this is stupid. I don't like this. I don't like this. There we go. Yeah, I mean, it was an important step in the evolution of the controller. But I mean, I've heard people say things like, "Oh, I can only play Ocarina of Time with the old N64 controller," and I'm like, have you heard of the GameCube controller? Are you aware of it? I don't know. I think that's just a boomer thing. I always hated this section here. Like, I don't even understand what the point of it is. And what's the point of that? And here's another part that if you were playing this game on an emulator, I'm sure gave you plenty of trouble. And... okay, I think that's all you gotta do.
Here we go!
Yeah, I'm definitely glad to be in this part of the game. Okay, I want to try something real quick. When I was testing the recording for this game, I kind of got this to almost work. Let's see. Can I pull off my big speedrun strat? Oh. Nope. Oh. I can like almost initialize it. Nope. I forget what the timing is. It's like, I think you have to hold Z and mash A, but I'm not really. I'm sure there's a million YouTube videos that explain it. Oh, there we go. Oh, wait a minute. Wait, hold up. Maybe, just maybe, can I get this to work? Hold on. Okay, so just so you know, I do not even come close to speedrunning this game. I'm literally just... Okay, yeah, no, you need to be a little bit more skilled at this game than I am, but... I want to believe. I want to believe. Nope, not quite. But I'm glad that I almost got it to work, because that's the closest that I've got it on tape so far. Alright, let's go back. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do every level in this stage, because this is the stage in the game that's like actually kind of good. Okay, so if I remember this one, okay. I really need to stop doing that. Can you wall jump back up there? I think you can. Oh yeah, you can. Nice. And I forgot what you were supposed to do. I think you were supposed to like pick him up or something. Yeah. Something like that. I forgot. Like, what are you supposed to do? Do I even have the right one? So you're supposed to go up there and there's a star. I think you just catch him again, but I'm not really. Oh, oh God, no, please. Oh. Okay. Scared me for a second. Now we get to see Mario's epic mullet. Okay, so Mario's hair doesn't look right in this game. I've never thought that. It looks weird. It's like he has a mullet. Like, why? He has a mullet, and he has these fucking like mutton chops. Like, what's up with that? Nice.
Mamma mia!
Oh wow, you don't even get the cat back when you die, you actually... That's interesting. I forgot about that. Yeah, you actually can lose your cap. Got him. What are you supposed to do, though? Man, I don't even know. I'm just gonna... Oh, there we go. So you're
It's this one. No, it's not. It's that one. But I completely forgot what you're actually supposed to do to get it. Go. I think you just go to the top of the mountain again, and there's another monkey up there. I don't know. I don't remember. Okay, yeah, because I think this is another one of those weird missions that you can only do it from this one. And you go up here. Yeah, okay. The other monkey just threw my memory off. Oh. Come on. Oh, man. Oh, okay, there we go. No. Oh, you gotta be shitting me. Okay, there we go. Oh. All's well that ends kind of poorly. As they say. Oh, nice. That really gives me some good information on where the star is. Great camera work, Nintendo. So I think you just go down there. Okay, there we go. Alright. Let's try something different. Oh yeah, this is a fun one. Let's see, did I choose the right one? I don't think so. I think you gotta go here. No, you don't want to stay in this water for too long. Oh shit. Okay. No, get away from me, get away from me. I always felt like the swimming in this game was really weird. I don't know, like, so that's kind of the weird thing about this game, is that half the time I can't really tell if it's the game or the controller. Oh, wait a minute. Do I really? Okay, you know what? I already accept that I've messed it up. Wait, there's just an invisible wall. Okay. Well, here. I accept my fate. There we go.
Mamma mia!
Okay, let's try that again.
Mamma mia!
Hold on, I will be back in 1 second. Sorry about that. There was for a minute because I was getting some really bad back pain because I was sitting in a really shitty chair. I got a much better chair now, and we're just gonna keep rolling. Yeah, I'm feeling I think this is gonna be the sitting where we go right to the end of the game. I'm feeling a lot better about this than I was earlier. So yeah, this level is kind of cool. It's probably my least favorite of the upstairs levels, but I still like it. I guess my only problem with this level is that it feels like it just takes a really long time to do any of the missions in this one. I thought that's all you had to do. Wait, what are you supposed to... Oh, wait, do you have to go and do the... Oh, no, there's another one. What the heck? Okay, this is weird. This is weird. So are they in set locations? I thought they were just random. This doesn't make sense. Okay, there we go. So there's 5 of them. I think that was 5 anyway. I'm not keeping count.
Here we go!
But anyway, now that I got the ball rolling again, I guess I'm just gonna go ahead and start talking about something that's kind of been bugging me recently. And it's basically just the whole mentality of like all of the somewhat popular retro gaming YouTube channels. And I'm kind of generalizing here, but I don't really dislike all of them. I just kind of have a problem with some of the overarching mentalities. The only channel that I really like, because they don't really engage very much, and I mean they kind of do, but they're not very much in the politics of like, oh, look at all these rare, expensive games. They're just more about the technical aspects. My life in gaming is actually kind of okay. They're kind of not that bad, you know. And DF Retro, they're okay. I like watching that. But I don't like the kind of channels that are like, look at this $23,000 NES cartridge that just got sold on eBay, or these are the top 10 hardest to get Sega Saturn games. It's like I'm just tired of hearing about it, right? You know, I mean, it's like it's literally just a microcosm of the weakness of intellectual property law, specifically in the U.S. I mean, there's countries that have different ways of doing it. So, like, okay, so the problem is the idea that you can just have like create something and have it be your property like forever, pretty much. 70 years after the death of the author, and that applies to games too. And I have a pretty big problem with that, because like you lose a lot of the fundamentals. I mean, imagine if like Dracula and Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde were not in the pulp. Actually, they might not be. Because I mean, even books get ridiculous with that shit. The original idea was that it was like 20 years in the 1700s. Now, I admit, that's probably not enough. But that was the original length that you could have a work protected with the first copyright legislation ever introduced a long time ago. Then they extended it to like 30 years and then 40 years, and that was also a long time ago, in the 1800s. And then Disney started getting involved. And then they were like, okay, no, you don't lose until the death of the author. Then Walt Disney dies, and it's like, okay, 10 years after the death of the author, 20 years after the death of the author, 30 years, now it's 70 years. I think it was the 1999 update to the legislation was literally called the Protect Mickey Mouse Act. Because, yeah, apparently that's how you protect Mickey Mouse, is to make sure that only one billionaire corporation gets to actually control what you do with him, right? Like, and so when you apply this to games, and it just creates all kinds of problems. Because we'll never have the real source code or the real story behind how a lot of these games were made. Like I'm sorry, like the development process of 1980s games, that's not trade secrets anymore. That's just fucking history. Or how about Windows? Microsoft fucking Windows. The fact that the only source code we have from Microsoft is the first version of MS-DOS. We have no source code for any version of Windows. I mean, people have tried to create Windows clones and Windows equivalents and compatibility layers, and with pretty varying degrees of success. Some of them work quite well, especially these days, using something like Wine on Linux. But we still don't have any of the source code, even for Windows 98. I'm sorry, do you think Windows 98 is still a fucking trade secret? No. What would they lose? And I think another problem with it is that it stifles competition. I can guarantee you, any amount of money that there's a billion, there's tons of game studios out there that can make way better Zelda games and way better Mario games than Nintendo. It's just a fact. And I'm not just talking about fan creations. Okay. The people that made Yooka-Laylee and the Impossible Lair? What if you gave them the Mario IP for one game? Or any amount of games? What if you gave Sega the Mario IP? It's stupid. Copyright has a place, but that place is ridiculously distorted. So to relate this to retro game YouTube, is that you have these people that create basically a pretend, really stupid, nerdy stock market with old, dusty pieces of plastic. I mean, Nintendo games don't need to... You don't need to charge more than, you don't need to be out here charging $80, $100, $120. And these people, they argue that, by having an original copy of the game, I have a license that says that I can sell it back to you and transfer that license. And it's cool, cool legal jargon, but you're still profiting off of old work. I think that's the other thing. Companies like Disney can buy up the rights to old movies, put them on Disney Plus. Disney didn't make all the shit that's on Disney Plus. They didn't even make half of it, and they get to profit off of all of it just because they paid the right price at the right time. I mean, I'm not necessarily all the way against business, but speculation is a fucking poison. It's ruining the housing market. It's ruining the gaming market. It literally, like, just poisons anything that's slightly good about capitalism, which is already fairly limited to begin with. And it's not just the fact... I mean, it would be one thing if they just said, oh, well, that's the law, deal with it. But you add another layer on top of it when you try to have the sense of moral superiority along with it. When you try to argue that what is the law is ethical. Like, I mean, I wish I didn't have to explain how, like, basic of a mentality that is. I mean, if you think that the law is ethical or that laws are downstream from morals, you're the political equivalent of a simp, you know? You are a political simp if that's what you think. It's dumb. Super Mario 64 does not need to cost $40 fucking dollars. I'm sorry. It doesn't even need to cost 10. It's old. It's a really goddamn old game. You know? I am playing on real hardware. All of, real VHS tape, real Game Shark, everything. But am I gonna sit here and say that I'm better than you, that I've worked harder than you, that I deserve this more than you? No. No, that's stupid. That's like, I think really having a sense of superiority about anything is already kind of bad and stupid and dumb. But when you have it about, like, fucking media piracy, it's like, really? Like, it stifles competition. Retro gaming YouTubers generally financially benefit. I mean, Pat the NES Punk has literally spent, like, life savings money on Nintendo games, right? Like, he's even paid up to $30,000 for a single cartridge just because, oh, well, there's only like 12 of them in the world. And I mean, like, great, but that's still stupid, right? Like, I wish people... Oh, goddamn, I forgot. This one was kind of difficult. I think if you talk to him, you die or something. No, you don't. Oh, you can just exit course and come... Okay. Okay, that's not too bad. Oh, wait, what? It spawns you back here no matter what. That's kind of dumb. But anyway. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I love retro games, but there was a time when you really could do this on the cheap, when it was an alternative. You could spend $400 or $500 on an Xbox 360, or you could spend $40 on a Nintendo 64 and some game cartridges. And yeah, that really was a price that you could, like, realistically pay for this stuff at one point in time. And speculation has killed it. And I really hope that it crashes. But I'm not sure if that's really actually gonna happen. Like people compare it to, like, the old comic book market of the 90s, that there was a time when comics pretty much became worthless in the early 90s. Between 1994 and 1997, something like 40% of all comic book stores in the US shuttered their doors. And people think the same thing's gonna happen with gaming, but I kind of worry that the internet and YouTube and this whole culture of, look at this really rare game, wow, you can have it, just pay the right price. I kind of worry that that's not really gonna happen, right? Like, kind of like how we're right. I mean, okay, right now if you just look at the stock market as a whole, we're in a 12-year bull market, right? Like, not quite 12 years, almost 12-year bull market, right? Like, people have been saying pretty much every year, like, the market dipped a little in 2019, everyone said, oh, recession, then there's no recession. Or just like the other day, the Dow lost 600 points, and everyone's saying, oh, is this going to be it? Are we going to have a downturn? Nope, it just regains everything on Monday and Tuesday. So, people have this hope that somehow the free market or whatever is going to correct itself, but what you're failing to consider is that the free market is what got us here in the first place. That the free market is what allowed someone to say, you know what, let's charge $30,000 for a Nintendo cartridge because I have the freedom to do so, and another person has the freedom to pay that price. And now you think that same freedom is just gonna swoop in and save the day. It's not gonna happen. Retro games are not gonna. In fact, you know what? They're gonna get more valuable. They're gonna get more expensive because there's a finite supply of these cartridges. And even if all of them still work, in 40 years' time, they're gonna be worth a lot more money just because basically all of the games have already been collected. And that is really just kind of a depressing vision of the future. And that's the vision of the future that people like Pat the NES Punk, Metal Jesus Rocks, etc., that they want to foster. And they want to foster it because they've already put all of their money into all of these game cartridges, and if the going gets tough, if the ad revenue slows down, if people stop becoming patrons, you're gonna need a fallback position, and well, when all of your assets are tied up in fucking Nintendo games, I mean, it just is what it is. It's stupid. It really doesn't need to exist. It's like, I don't know. And keep in mind, like, the actual rights holders in this situation, Nintendo, they could totally fix all of this. Sega already distributes Sega Genesis ROMs on Steam. Like as in, you can buy Sonic 3 and Knuckles on Steam, and in the Steam files there actually is a ROM. You can take out that ROM and put it in your own emulator, and that's another thing, is that people get very confused on emulation. Like, they think that it's the emulator that's illegal, and it's not. In fact, the actual companies, the companies that actually made the original hardware, that have all of the access to the original documentation, these companies cannot make emulators that are as good as what fans have come up with. And the innovation that resulted in the emulators of today, that was not created by the free market. It's created by volunteer work, basically. And it saddens me that all of these people that make these emulators, they